Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday, 2/23/22. That was pretty wild. Yesterday was 2/22/22. So good to see you, Lynette. How are you? Welcome to the Unstoppable Fireside Chat. I know I'm a few minutes early, but when I see people sitting in the waiting room, I don't like to keep them waiting there too long. I see my brother Seth has showed up. There he is. What's happening, man?
Good morning.
Good
How are you?
morning. Wonderful. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. It's good morning here in Colorado.
Yeah, it's a good morning here in Jersey too, man. We're getting in the 68 or 70 sometime today. So I'll take that in February. I was just telling Lynette, I saw her in the waiting room. I hate making people wait in the waiting room when I see people there, I just start.
Yeah, we might as well if they're here.
I feel like I don't know, you guys may not know this genre. It's we haven't been on Fireside in a long time, in a couple of weeks because my office is moving and a lot of stuff was going down. But I'm glad we're back here. But I feel like my favorite hip hop group, or one of my favorite hip hop groups, Eric B and Rakim. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you, but we're back. But we're back.
And in that time, Philly fans,
That's right. That's right. In that time, Philly fans, Ben Simmons was offloaded and James Harden was secured. And so we're excited about Friday night. Friday night's the first game with Harden on the court. I know Lynette likes it. Whoa, let me mute Seth real quick. Let me mute my brother. Hold on. Okay. All right. Seth had to mute himself. I know Lynette's like, if you guys don't get to the topic, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So today, what I want to talk about is today, Lynette, I want to share with you today, and anybody else that jumps on. I'm always talking about being unstoppable. I'm always talking about having an action plan. I'm always talking about, moving forward. But today, you remember that song by Kenny Rogers, The Gambler? Know when to fold them, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. I'm going to kind of let's talk about that for a minute, for a second. We'll see if we can get Seth back on or anybody else to join us, or Lynette, you coming up on the stage, we can have a conversation. We've heard 1,000 times, winners don't quit. Winners never quit. Winners never quit. But do they? Do they quit? Do winners quit? You know, I think winners do quit. And when I'm saying that, Lynette, is this: I'm saying that winners know when to fold them. They know the difference between sticking it out and taking a brutal loss versus learning to quit something that no longer serves them. That's what I'm going to talk about today. That it has to be part of our action plan. When do we quit something or walk away from something that no longer serves us? We have to know when to fold them. Again, this falls in line to what we've been saying months ago and we've been saying before, is that we do not, hey, my brother's back. We do not um, abort the mission, but we may have to change the plan that we have activated in reaching that goal. So winners do know when to fold them. I think winners do know. I think winners do quit. Seth, that's what I'm talking about today. Winners do quit. I've said 1,000 times, winners never quit. Well, sometimes they do. Winners know when to fold them. You have to learn to walk away from something that is no longer um, serving you. It sounds ridiculous, I guess, but how many times have we done it? It's okay to say, you know what? I've spent so long in this particular project. I don't know. I'm in this relationship, this job. It's no longer serving me. It's no longer moving me toward my ultimate goal. So I think winners do quit. What about you, Seth? What do you think about that, man? Different way to look at it, huh?
yeah, I think it's true. Sorry, I had some tech issues, got disconnected there.
Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't hear you. Can't
Yeah,
can't do a fireside chat if I can't hear you.
no worries, no worries.
But no, I do think winners quit because I think a big piece of being unstoppable and moving forward is being willing to take chances
Yeah.
and being willing to try things and being willing to move forward. But we don't always have 100% confidence. I'd say we almost never have 100% confidence that what we're going to do is going to work. So sometimes you
Right.
have to have faith and jump out, which means sometimes you're going to come out on top, and sometimes you're going to realize, you know what, we tried, but it's time to move on.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean that, and I think that really has to be a part of it. I'll share some stories of when I had to adjust. I don't want to use the word quit because I don't think when I say quit, we're not talking about abandoning the goal. We're talking about changing the plan, quitting this particular course of action that no longer serves us. And it doesn't, and I don't think it means that we can't come back to it later on. I don't think it's a waste of time. I think we learn a lot about ourselves, and we're continuing learning, even in processes or plans or things that after a while no longer serves. I think we still learn while we're there. I don't. I'm the kind of guy. I don't think anything is a particular waste of time. I think that we and in this atmosphere of all of us moving forward and groups like this and Fireside, we talk about being unstoppable, having a certain mindset. I think that even in things that we have to readjust, or even in things we have to step away from, organizations we have to quit, I think we still learn something in the process. And I think um, you have to be wise enough to not stay too long. How many times have you stayed in something too long? You stayed in something, you stayed doing something too long. You're like, man, wait a minute. This is, I gotta, next week, I'm going to stop on Friday. No, stop today. Stop it today and reflect. The quicker you stop it, you're able to reflect. The quicker you quit it, you're able to move on and reflect about what you learned. We hold on for people. We hold on for the right time. Seth, has there ever been a right time in your experience?
I don't know about perfectly right. You feel like it's right, and then you realize maybe it was.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if there's never a perfect time or right time. Hey, Tina. Good morning, Tina. We're talking about know when to fold them. We started off by saying, asking the question, do winners quit? And we said yes, winners. I believe winners do quit. And when I say quit, they learn to step away from things that no longer serve them. I think in this being a tomorrow thinker, that's another topic, but being a tomorrow thinker, that means what I do today has an effect on what happens tomorrow. I think being a tomorrow thinker, we really need to at times say, okay, this particular plan, the goal is still the goal, but this plan on how to get there is no longer serving me or serving the organization, serving my family, it's serving the goal itself. And so it's time to quit. It's time to in sports we say change the play or punt. Um, and I entitled this from the gambler Kenny Rogers: "Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run." All right, we're playing the long game. So sometimes, sometimes, ladies and gents, we got to fold them. We got to say, no, this is enough. This is enough. You know, um, and I'm going to let you guys talk because I want to hear some instances where you guys had to walk away. I'm going to share mine first. And and I, if you read my bio, I was a police officer for 20 years, and start doing the math. Here in New Jersey, you could get out at 25 and ABCD. And there were some things that I had to do. You get out at 25 with full pension. I left at 20. Um, I got 50% of my pension and zero benefits. But just as the Lord would have it, I'm married to a wonderful family nurse practitioner, so we got all the benefits I needed. But anyhow, being a police officer and riding around and I love my job. I love the people that were on my squad that I supervised and all that kind of stuff. You start saying, man, 5 years to go for only $200 more in my paycheck in my pension. it was no longer serving me, and it was delaying me. It was delaying my next season of growth, which now I retired about 11 years ago, and I'm so glad I did. But I had to know when to fold. Do I regret the career? No, I loved it, provided for me and my family, but I had to make a decision. I had to fold it, walk away. I walked in, I was going to walk out. I wasn't going to be the guy who worked 24 years and, got shot 2 weeks before he was about to retire. It wasn't going to be me. And so I think, and that's major. There's a whole lot of other instances I had in my life, but you have to know when this particular thing no longer serves who I'm trying to be or where I'm going on the next level. And it takes courage. It takes bravery to fold it and walk away. So that's probably a major one. And I had a lot of other, and that's probably not as scary as it sounds because it's just not as scary as it sounds. I would still, I set myself up to be able to walk away, but um, nonetheless, I was able to. I had to fold it. That was it. That part of Ralph Graves Jr. was over. No more Sarge, no more Sarge. But thank God that wasn't my identity. That was just something I did. What about you, Seth?
I think of this on I think of this on a smaller and more frequent basis.
Mm-hmm.
Just like with my own business, how there's always ideas. There's always even. I mean, last night I was up at night thinking about a new show that we're thinking about launching. Like, there's always ideas. There's always new ideas or new things we want to pursue or new opportunities that come across our path. And I
Mm-hmm.
think over the years, I've just learned to try and maybe be quicker at, on one end, letting myself think about them, but
Yeah.
then on another end, making the decision of this isn't something we're going to pursue.
Right. Okay.
As opposed to feeling like I have to, we got to do it all. Like, if a door opens, we got to go through all the doors that are open. So I think my
Yeah.
perspective has changed to think a little bit more in terms of, it's okay to look through a door. It's okay to peek through a door. It's okay to like
Yeah.
think about, okay, is this an opportunity? Give it some time, but that we got to be quick to realize, okay, this is out of our focus. This is not the right season for this, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
opportunities will come.
Sure. Sure. Got to know when to fold them. Anybody else want to jump up? Anybody else want to jump up? Hey, Ryan. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Tina. Come on up, Tina. How are you?
Can you hear me now?
There you. There you
All
go. There
right.
you go.
So, my story, let's see, early 2000s, I was going for my master's degree, and I ridiculously thought I could pad a pocket by working 70 hours a week and doing extra credit hours, and that it mattered. And I end up going to see my primary care physician, and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just feel sick, or I feel this way or that way. And she's like, you have to stop working so many hours. And so this was a time in my life where I decided, I wasn't going to tell the restaurant, yes, I'm going to work overtime. Or I was also doing ABA with kids with autism in their homes, driving to different cities and working in a computer lab on the side. And I was burnt out, but I didn't want to admit it. And I ended up negotiating and saying, I could drop down to like 50 hours. And then eventually I dropped to 44. But it was huge to not do what I was raised to do, which is like be a yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and do all of the things. And it was really tough.
I imagine so. That had at least you listen to yourself and say, okay, this is no longer serving me.
Right. And now it's helpful because I recognize when I'm overstepping the amount of work I'm putting on myself or not having that work-life balance, and I can help others in that way now too, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, no, it's never easy. It's never easy. Ryan, you just jumped on, man. We're talking about winners do quit. And you might say, man, what are you talking about? Winners know when to fold them. They know when to walk away from something that isn't serving them. Thank you for sharing that, Tina. Thank you for sharing that. And I like what she said. I had to pad my pockets and this, that, and the other. And sometimes we allow finances to be that driving force and what you think is serving you at the moment. Um, starts killing you physically, starts killing, how can you focus on who you're supposed to be? How can you focus on your creativity and your content and all the things that you want to do when you're through stress? It's hard enough. Stress is a distraction. It's hard enough to do it with zero distraction. So, can you imagine that? So you have to know when something isn't serving you, and don't be afraid to walk away from it. Don't. And some things are tougher than others. I gave you guys something that wasn't tough. Seth talked about the day-to-day things, like, it's a little tougher, a little close to home. Tina shared about a period in her life, and I'm sure it was tough because on one hand, like, I got to pay the bills. On the other hand, I got to do A, B, C, D. So it's you get chances all day long. And the reason why we're talking about this is because I want you guys to always be able to reflect. When in your downtime, we've talked for weeks before we took a little 3 or 4 week break of different strategies of turning off the TV, a digital detox 30 to 40 minutes before you go to bed. And when we will reflect, I think we really need to, as we reflect and write things down, what is serving us? What is not serving us? And when I say that again, all of us have a main goal, a main aim, whatever that is. We just may have to change the plans on how to get there and how to get there. Anybody else want to jump up? Anybody?
I think a lot of times people fall into where they haven't really said yes or no to anything, but they've just kind of taken what life's given them.
Yeah.
And then they wake up, 10 years later and realize, man, where am I? Like, did I actually choose? Like, did I actually choose to get here? But they've kind of just gone with the punches.
Yeah.
And they haven't said no to anything. They haven't quit anything. They've just kind of taken what's come to them. And I think that can be problematic too.
It could be real problematic. It could be real. You wake up, and I'm on the other side of 50. I'm 53. You wake up, guys, you're 35, you're 40, you're 42, and you've just been taking life like, whoa, wait a minute, how'd I get here? I got here based upon other people's choices and decisions instead of really pursuing what I know I should have been pursuing and doing. Hey, Dave, good morning, man. Thanks for jumping on, Dave. Thanks for jumping on. We're talking about knowing when to fold. We're talking about recognizing what doesn't serve you, and don't be afraid to step away from it. I like what Seth said earlier too. It's okay to peek through a window and maybe we'll try this. You know what, that's not for me right now, and step away from it. You have to have the time on this journey of growing and becoming, and whatever you set your mind to do, whatever success looks like for you, looks different for all of us, but all of us have to reflect. All of us have to take the time, like I said, we talked about it for months, to journal, to read, to reflect on what is serving us. And what, man, I need to get out of there. I need to get away from that group of people. I'm going to tell you something, another little lighter thing, and it's not, everything, you ought to measure how everything serves you. I was part of my local Rotary, and I love those. I love the Rotary. I love the Rotary. Right before pandemic hit, and I was also part of the Union League in Philadelphia. And all right, it served me for 2 or 3 years, and it was time to move on. I had great relationships, great people. I really couldn't fit it in my time to be there every Thursday for the lunch and all this other kind of stuff. So, rather than hinder what they're doing, so you have to just gauge different things. You have to reflect and gauge different things. It's okay, guys. It's okay to do that. It's okay to do that. Seth had talked about not just waking up one day and finding yourself where you are. We and don't know how you got there. We want to be careful of that. We want to take calculated steps. I said on the onset, we want to be tomorrow thinkers. I did not want to go to the gym this morning. I woke up, that alarm went off at 4:30, and I tried to talk myself out of it, and especially it's leg day. I tried to say, "Oh, come on, you'll do leg. You'll come back this afternoon." I knew good and well I wasn't going to get up and go that afternoon. I wasn't going to leave to work and go. I forced my way there. You know why I went there? You know why I showed up at 5 a.m.? Tomorrow thinking. I needed the Ralph Graves from 2 years from now who I haven't met. I need him to look at me and thank me for staying up on my physical well-being. It's the same thing with our businesses and our decisions. It's the same thing with, everything that we do. It's a tomorrow thinker. Will the Tina 5 years from now thank the present day Tina? Or will she be mad at her? It's up to you, Tina. It's up to Dave. It's up to Seth. It's up to Ryan. And so we have to reflect. We have to know when to fold them and know when to quit. Anybody else want to come up and join? Seth, what's up, man?
I was just thinking when you were talking about that, because we talk a lot about what people do and what winners do, or what millionaires do, what successful people do, but I don't think we think about a lot of. I think truly successful people, they're saying no to probably more things than they're saying yes to.
That's
So
correct.
We usually
I believe
think
that.
about quitting, or knowing when to fold them as, okay, this opportunity came, you say no to that. But like you said with your example of leg day, saying no to the snooze button, like there's got to be things and habits and lifestyle choices and things that we're doing on a daily basis that we got to think about. What do we have to quit? What do we have to fold? What do we have to sacrifice and get
Yeah.
rid of on a daily basis too? And
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to think about, okay, what do we do to be successful?
Right.
There probably needs to be more conversation on what do we not do.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that. And here's the thing too. And the reason why we have to have that conversation on what not to do, we'll get caught up. And I don't know, I might have talked about this on the podcast. Maybe I talked about it here. We'll write down our goals and we'll talk about the things we need to do. And our brain tricks us as if we already did them. And then we don't do a blessed thing. and we don't do anything. I think I talked about the danger of vision boards. Remember, I think I talked about that somewhere. I don't know where I talked about it. And we talked about the danger of it. We could trick ourselves as if we did something. But what if we start saying, okay, this is what I don't need to do. I don't need this. I don't need to do that. In order to reach my goal, I have to fold them. I have to walk away from this habit. Not only walk away from a bad habit. Remember in my book, Unstoppable, I said, you can't just say, if you're going to take away a bad habit, you have to hurry up and replace it with a good one. All right. So I don't need to do A anymore. I got to replace it with B. So all of this, when we talk about walk away, we talk about winners do quit. Winners do quit. The winners know when to fold them. If replace it with something beneficial that is still moving you toward your desired outcome, toward the person you want to be, toward your goal, toward shaping your business how you want it to look like. So, okay, I'm saying no to this, and Seth hit the nail on the head. A lot of the most successful among us, they probably say no to more things than they say yes to. A lot of us on here say yes to everything for whatever reason. We want to please people. Maybe we don't want to let nobody down, or, I want to be a better father than my dad. I want to be a better mother than my mom. So I would say yes to everything. And really, by doing that, it doesn't serve us or who we're trying to be, or even the people we're saying yes to in the way that we should really properly serve them. I know I just said a mouthful, but anybody else want to come up on stage? Anybody? Good to see Rock Steady. Hey, man, good morning. Good to see you, man, on here. Good to see you. We're talking about knowing when to fold them. Got about 5-10 minutes left. Anybody want to share a story where you realize that, wow, this is not serving me anymore, and I'm going to have to gracefully bow out? That's what knowing when to fold them is. This is no longer serving me. I need to gracefully bow out, and I need to continue on in the things that are serving me. Winners do quit. They know when to fold them. They know when to say no. They know when to walk away. They know when to run. Anybody want to come on up on stage and just share your story? Listen, your stories are the bridge builders that kind of help us move and get pointed in the right direction. Anyone? Okay. All right. But that's what we're talking about today, guys. That's what this thing is about. Now, we say no, we know, and we walk away from things to reflect. Let's talk about reflection real quick. We have to reflect. Take time to always to consider your culture. When I say the culture or the atmosphere of your organization, of your classroom, whatever you're trying to do, whatever culture you're living in, take time to consider how your culture will change and whether that change continues to serve the people that are in your particular culture or in your particular environment. All right? So take time to reflect on what this change will bring. Will it serve your change? Will it serve the people in your environment, people in your culture? Will it continue to serve them? We are in the people business. We are in the service business. Someone much smarter than me, I'm not sure who said it, might have been Zig Ziglar, might have been somebody else. To get what you want, help others around you get what they want. That's the quickest way to get what you want, is to serve people. So we're in a people serving business. So this change, and you reflect on the changes that you made, does it serve the environment of your organization, of your business, of your church, of your family, whatever you're in? Does it serve it? Are you still serving? Are you still helping people achieve the desired outcome after an interaction with you? That's what we have to reflect on. That's what we have to reflect on. Are people better after they interacted with you? Or did their cortisol levels shoot up and they have blood pressure issues?
Right. I'm thinking, Ralph, that a big piece of this and knowing when to fold them. And I think that a lot of people don't do this because they feel selfish. They feel like it's selfish to look at, hey, what's going to serve me and what's not. And I think culturally we get so used to just feeling like we have. I mean, similar to what Tina said, she just kind of become somebody who feels like she had to say yes to everything, and that's part of how she was raised.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that kind of as we bring this to a close, that we got to not necessarily be willing to be selfish, but be willing to realize that when we take care of ourselves, that's going to be when we can take care of others the best.
Exactly right. The sick can't heal the sick. You have to take care of yourself, man. And I don't know, we'll do a whole program on what selfish really is. I can't help you be your best if I'm not operating at mine. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. And in order to operate at mine, you have to say no to some stuff.
Yep.
Oh, Tina wants to come back up. Come on up, Tina.
Hello.
Hey.
So there's a book called Not Nice, and it's all about the selfishness stuff. And there's an assessment that you take at the beginning and then you take at the end, and the whole book is action-based steps, so it addresses all of that.
What's the name of that book again?
Not Nice.
Not Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, guys.
I cannot pronounce the author's name very well, so just look up Not
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Not Nice. Tina gave that book, Not Nice, an endorsement. Guys, check it out. Check it out. And Seth, let's find the author, see if I can get him on the podcast. See if we can. But guys, that's all we have for you today. Any other closing comments, concerns? We're just talking about knowing when to fold them. And I want to thank all of you for showing up on this podcast today, the beautiful people of Fireside. Thank you for showing up. Guys, you can check me out on the website. Check out my podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's called Unstoppable with Ralph Graves Jr. I think we're 78 episodes in? 78, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Every
so week a new one comes out with just that number.
Every week. It just gets. If you want to be on the podcast, I would love to talk to you. Email Seth at storyon.co. Seth at storyon.co. He will make the connection. I would love to sit down with you, half hour, 45 minutes on the podcast. Tell the world your story, inspire me. Let's have a good time. But guys, thanks for coming on. We'll be back again here next Wednesday. So you guys have a wonderful week. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be afraid to